Partnered by Times Influence.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of PMI Chennai chapter and PMI Kerala chapter, we cordially invite all of you for the 9th PMI National Conference India 2017. The theme for this year is Powering India's Global Leadership.
Now, we shall inaugurate the conference by lighting the Kuttuvalakku.
Now, for the welcome address, I request Mr. Prasanna Sambat Kumar to welcome the gathering.
Courage, a liberal hand, wisdom, and energy. These four are the essential qualities of a leader. And a leader can never fail on these four. This couplet is taken from Tirukkural, which is written by the famous poet Thiruvalluvar some 2000 years ago. Right? Since then, till today, the importance of leadership, the importance of leadership skills have been in discussion and still relevant. And the importance of the leadership skills have been evolving over a period of time. And it's time we add the project management also to the important leadership skill. I welcome you all for the 9th PMI National Conference 2017. It gives me great pleasure in welcoming you for this wonderful conference.
Industry experts and champions alike came together to guide project managers on the importance of setting goals, taking calculated risks, and being innovative.
All through my career, I was primarily a project manager or project director, whatever you want to call it. A project director has a job on a defined product with an acceptable timeline and deliver the product within the cost stipulated. Now, the successful projects always have a good leader, and the leader is emotionally bonded to the situation. And if he has a longer tenure, then he will be able to live through and then see the results. Right decisions are to be made, and that should be made by a leader, and that leader should possess not only the leadership qualities, but also should have an emotional bonding to the decisions which he is making. For that, he should have enough time. And if this is achieved, every project in India will be a success. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to share moments of my career you might be able to relate to. When you keep on doing something, it gets very repetitive. You can't try new things, and somehow you're always trying to tweak what you did before a little bit and see if it gets better. The other problem is you have this feeling you achieved something, but you don't know what to do with your life next. It's funny that this has such a big effect, because if you think if your technical abilities in chess are a certain level, then you should be able to perform. But it's amazing how much this is influenced by having a goal in front of you. When you lose your confidence, it's impossible to do anything. And if you don't have confidence, then you're always making bad decisions there. Confidence and risk-taking are connected. If you don't have one, you don't have the other. And if you're never taking risks, you're never going to win a game. I mean, you'll draw, you'll do average, but you will never get forward. I think those are the main lessons that I wanted to share with you.
I'm asked to speak on innovations, and more specific on cultural innovation. Innovation is, in my opinion, is the only differentiating factor which can take the company from 1 year to a decade to multiple decades. If you are innovating faster and keeping differentiating yourself from your competitors. So you need to completely look at what is happening around and deconstruct everything, and not look at only your particular area and kill it. If you can take with you focus on just pure culture. It is very important that you take that culture into your company, start building. The power of the employees innovating is much more than the few people deciding at the top. The culture needs to be there. The whole company needs to become an entrepreneur in a certain sense, whatever they build and how they build it, and that's how you can differentiate. Thank you very much.
Welcome back to the coverage of the 9th PMI National Conference. Next up, Mark Dixon, Chairperson of PMI Board of Directors, and TV Mohandas Pai, Chair of the Board of Manipal Global Education Services, shared their insights on the importance of talent management and leadership in the age of disruption.
Project management is not a single skill that you can go out and achieve. Project management is a system of behaviours, of competencies and of skills. It's a system that needs to be adapted to every project or program to make sure that we've got the appropriate balance of people and skills to satisfy the demands of that particular project. And if we are missing an element of that competency set, then we risk the whole thing collapsing. So what we've got to make sure is that we have a holistic approach to the development of leaders and the development of skills in the profession. So the talent triangle is a framework for the development of the right skills to be able to satisfy the demands of the modern marketplace. And we're looking at three key elements. We're looking at the element of technical project management, leadership, and business and strategic skills. But the first one is technical project management. They are essential skills required to be a project manager, to be an effective project manager. Nothing's changed there. These are the skills that you need to develop to be a good project manager. What are the leadership skills? Well, the leadership skills, there's a few on the board there about communicating, negotiating, motivating, inspiring your people, having a vision for your project and instilling that vision with your team. The last area is in strategic and business management. One of the key reasons that project leaders need to understand about business and strategic management is to be able to market the project to the people that count, to be able to convince your business leaders that your project is essential for them and get their buy-in to the process and the system. So what I would like you to do is to go away from here, take this knowledge and actually adapt and be part of the growth of the country and become champions for project management and yourselves. Thank you.
I believe we are in the age of disruption, and the next 15 years are going to radically change the way we live all around the world. It's already happening in some parts of the world, and it's going to impact us in India too in a significantly great way. It's happening in various areas across industries, and now, in the next 15 years, because of economic growth, because of many things else, the economic order in the world is getting reversed again, led by technology, led by demographics, and led by globalization. So globalization is bringing the world together, technology is creating platforms to change, and then demographic change, the aging of societies, particularly in the West, is creating another impetus for societies to dramatically change. To face for that, we require leadership. The leadership has to be leadership by thought, where we understand and assimilate. It has to be leadership by action, where we come out with plans, and we are rapid, and we are flexible, and we meet that. And it has to be leadership by outcome, because the outcome has to be positive. So, my friends, in the age of disruption, which we are entering right now, and we are in the midst of, and which is accelerating, all of you as project managers have to rethink, have to rework, and find out what is happening, and reorient your strategies, reorient your enterprises to compete in this new challenge. Thank you very much.
Author, entrepreneur and triathlete Anu Vaidyanathan shares her inspiring thoughts and insights on making the best of what is available and living life to the fullest.
I believe that the place for adventure in your life can be sacrosanct. You can protect it to the degree that your life allows you with no apologies. I try not to make any apologies for the way we live or the ambitions we have for our work, because I've always believed that sport had to fit into my life, not the other way around. My life did not have to fit into the sport beyond a point, right? Because I think that ultimately there are phases or spaces in your life that can take in or not take in certain pursuits, and I believe that anything you do actually has to fit with your life, not the other way around. But in terms of lessons, I think there are only a very few things I'd like to share with you. I think words matter. But I think we need to learn to use them well, especially in relationships, with ourselves, most of all, with our spouses, with our friends, and everything else. The second thing that I've understood is that you need to slow down your speech. And this I've learned after my child has come in, where everything that he does or he's about to do looks like a huge disaster. And you're constantly blowing up, like you're an explosive device in the house, But you don't have to be that way. You can be very calm. And the third thing is to really try to stay calm even if you don't feel it. Even if you don't feel it, try to fake it. Because I believe that you will actually observe more if your exterior is a little bit calmer than your interior feels at any given time. Each one of us is unique. I'd like to believe that. And that has to be mildly explored, to whatever degree. I don't think that we have to give up and sit back at any age or time or situation in life. And really, these are the only things that I have learned so far.
Through the story of non-issues, Anshu Gupta, founder-director of Gunj, focuses on the ground realities that are still plaguing India daily.
18 years of this work, we started with about 67 personal units of clothing. Today we deal with about 3,000 tons of material. Started from home. Today we have 12 big offices, many small offices, series of recognitions. So in the CV of Gunj, everything is absolutely fantastic. But before sleeping, if I put my hand here and ask myself honestly, show me 100 faces where the life is totally changed because of us, the honest answer becomes very tough. And are we really bold enough? Are we really brave enough to accept that the change is not happening? Because the fact remains, poverty is not reduced, migration is not reduced, people haven't got toilets, the roads are not there, and unfortunately, our benchmarking has become so low that even if there is a 100-meter road in front of my house, I think I have a right. That's our benchmarking. And I strongly feel that this is basically not just about the issues, but the non-issues. Just to give you the grave situation of certain things. Few years back, we raised a very basic question. We said that you talk about 3 basic needs of humankind. You say roti, kapda, makan, food, cloth, and shelter. Kapda, cloth, you forget. You only remember when a disaster happens. All of us remember here, sitting here, 2015 floods, and we all know how much clothes from all across the country came. We said if earthquake is a disaster, flood is a disaster, how come winters are not a disaster? Why don't we have figures of people who die or suffer due to lack of clothing in winters? And if you are saying that it is one of the 3 basic needs, if you talk about the Millennium Development Goals, Sustainability Goal, Planning Commission, Niti Aayog, all kind of state and city planning, you have some 150 issues, from domestic violence to global warming. You will never find clothing written as a subject. So you actually need flood to be flooded with clothes, or it has always remained a charitable subject object. I strongly feel there is no place in the world where charity sustained and the development happened. We all need to move out of charity. Charity can be, one time. It should not sustain at all.
Welcome back. Concluding the national conference, industry champions at PMI CEO Roundtable Series came together and brought their insights to discuss the opportunities and challenges for a young India at 75.
Given the youth demographic that we have, I think being able to adequately build capacity in them through the capabilities of skilling, creating strong universal literacy, which will then lead to creation of urban centers of excellence, building sustainability around it. So I think if we were to take just this one area where I think India can benefit significantly from, if we are able to adequately equip human resources, I think there's a massive way forward.
Mr. Dubey.
I would feel that there are three major areas where we need to stress upon. Number one is the education. If the people are more educated, they will contribute by earning something and contributing to the economy overall. The second, the participation of females in the country's growth. And we have to encourage females to come forward, and the multiple programs have to be developed to get them into the mainstream. Yeah. And the third important area I feel is the field of research and development, and especially on energy. So some work has to go on that sphere, which will really tremendously help the country into 2022 and beyond as well.
Mr. Virendra.
Coming from a productivity background, I would think that 60% of our population being in the rural area, and everything has touched the urban sphere, but the same doesn't happen on the rural side. So we do the same things, like for instance, you do drying with ultimate efficiency in the urban sphere. But the same drying in, for instance, in the rural area is so archaic. And so we need to make sure that somehow we get this technology into the rural sphere so that we enable the rural populace to become competitors with the urban populace.
Look, India over the years have achieved a GDP of 2.2 trillion roughly last year. And this has taken us, I think, 50 plus years to go from 1 to 2.2 trillion. But believe me now, just simple arithmetic, if we are able to grow at double digit, by 2030, we will be a 10 trillion economy. Just imagine the power of a 10 trillion economy. Even if you are achieving around 8% of GDP growth year on year for the next 5 years, you will be ending somewhere between 3 to 4 trillion. It's a huge, huge power.
Mark, what is your realistic assessment of what India can do in the next 5 years?
If we go to Vision India is a dream for the future of India. And to achieve that vision, it can only be achieved through change, and quite significant change, from what I think we all would all agree. And change can only be delivered through, or achieved through, the successful delivery of projects. And the project management profession is all about making dreams come true and the successful delivery of visions. And that's our raison d'etre. That's what we're all about, working with organisations to help them achieve their vision and their dreams. So by using proven project management practices and proven project management frameworks, organisations can deliver on their promises. And that is a great thing for organisations and for the country.
Your turn, Harish.
According to me, the more fundamental cultural shift that we need is a lot more trust between all of us. Trust between businesses, trust between government and business, trust between government and people, trust between politicians and the voters. There's a huge trust deficit, and that results in huge amount of regulatory pressures. We are fairly low down on ease of doing business because we don't trust each other.
I would focus on just two areas. I think the first is building the human capital index. We need to start applying ourselves down to actually measuring human capital. And the reason why I say that is the moment we break the phenomenal numbers that we have across our economy, on a per capita metric, then suddenly we start paling into insignificance. The second is from a point of view of centers of excellence or a culture of excellence. If we don't build this culture of excellence in whatever we do, and we bring in an element of speed, bring in an element of getting things done, across all possible touch points, we're going to be getting into wastages that we cannot afford. So I think somewhere we have to make every rupee count. We have to get into this entire spirit and culture of excellence. The moment I believe we navigate these two pieces, the journey forward would be a much smoother, more importantly, a much more predictable journey going forward.
Great. I think the key is governance. While you have a lot happening from the top, from the center, how is it trickling down at the lower level, right? And the accountability at the lower level. I think that's a fundamental problem in India. Infrastructure, another big challenge for us in India. I think we are solving for day before yesterday, still in India. We really haven't touched upon the future.
Dr. Sivakumar.
Healthcare is one of the key challenges. One of the key factors that would help to improve this situation, I think a lot of investments have to be coming from government and also the public-private partnerships. So it's very important that the public-private partnership in healthcare should be improved so that we'll have better infrastructure.
What is the contribution which is going to come from the citizens of India to make this GDP or whatever we wanted to achieve in life in next 5 years or 10 years? I thought that would be more important, because the component of 1.3 billion people, if they don't have a vision and if they don't have an attitude to achieve this, few people on the governance and few people on the private sector is not making this going to happen in the coming years.
In a bid to bridge the gap between existing skill sets and skills required to excel in project management practices, Project Management Institute released the Hindi version of Project Management Body of Knowledge. The Hindi edition will reach out to wider audiences and share insights on the fundamentals of project management and theories and concepts that have been recognized internationally. And finally, the PMI India Awards, the industry's most prestigious distinction in the project management profession, paying tribute to groundbreaking projects that demonstrated superior performance, exemplary implementation, and innovative processes in 2017. In the category Project of the Year, NGO. The runner-up is Shisha, Samiti for Education, Environment, Health and Social Action. Project of the Year, NGO. The winner is LV Prasad Eye Institute. Project of the Year, Contribution to Community. And the winner is Tata Consultancy Services Limited. Project of the Year, Small Category. And the winner is Tata Housing Development Company. Project of the Year, Medium Category. And the winner is Oil and Natural Gas Corporation Limited. The 2017 Project Management National Conference India brought the greatest minds across industries together to discuss and share their experience, opinion and vision. Emerging trends in project management were shared, while focus was placed on the need to make the most of India's demographic dividend by boosting skill development, all with an aim to make India a leading country on the global stage.
Partnered by Times Influence.